Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm glad you could join me. And today I wanted to point out a couple of things on PTN. I want to thank Pedro Moreno for adding some comments there and posting the articles that I think are much more realistic on PTN and kind of pointing out that, I'll just get the paper here, 4 out of the 5 claims raised by Adam are demonstratedly false based on the assessment of clinical and financial evidence. And then he went on to mention that maybe they're going to have to do more studies on using Vyleesi with alcohol. But other than that, at least now we know that PTN is getting money. And this article, actually, if you go back to the previous PTN video that we made, we kind of looked down at the comments down there, and Pedro actually put in the link there so you can kind of go and read the article for yourself. It's very good, it's very explanatory. Mr. Sun actually went into a lot of detail as to some of the studies prior and the safety of this. And I think I've seen some studies in the past also that showed how safe this medication was even before Palatine Technologies picked up this molecule and started working with it. So thank you very much for that. Now, as to what I'm going to do with the stock for now, I'm very happy. I mean, I've made a lot of profit with PTN so far. However, I think I'm going to keep the stock for now, and we're going to wait for the launch of the medication and then see how it takes off from there, see how well they advertise for it. I think it is a medication that I believe that I'll be able to use with some of my patients if they really do need this medication. And I know of several patients that do need this medication. So it's something that we'll at least have to try, and that is safe to try. And that was my concern, because where we live, we have a lot of diabetes, a lot of hypertension, a lot of hypercholesterolemia. So you worry about all these other diseases that are going on with patients. But with this, at least we know that it's pretty safe, side effects are minimal, and I think they'll do fine with that. Again, it's for hypoactive sexual desire in premenopausal women, and it can be given prior to intercourse. So that's something that hopefully will do good in the market, and for those people that are necessary, I hope that it works very well for them as well. So in addition to PTN, I'm also keeping an eye on Ritter, or RTTR, which we invested in a long time ago, which has the lactose intolerance medication. Basically, you take this medication, I believe it's for 21 days, and after that, or 28 days, something like that, and then after that, you grow bacteria in your intestines that will help you digest the lactose, and it breaks it down. And so therefore you don't get those lactose intolerance symptoms with the diarrhea and the bloatedness and the abdominal pain and all that discomfort. So, and with the studies, the way they've gone, they had been very, very good. So now that they finished a phase 3 study, which I believe that is the one that will hopefully be able to launch this medication, then we'll be waiting for those studies. So I'm waiting anxiously to see what those results show. In the meantime, in the past, they went through a reverse split, so I definitely have less shares than what I had before. However, now it's kind of a nice wait and see type of company at this point. If you hadn't bought any shares on Ritter, I would suggest look at the phases, look at phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 now that they've finished, and see what you think. Now, there's no real other lactose intolerance type of medication out there, and this is more of a cure than just a treatment to kind of minimize symptoms. It will actually, hopefully, take your symptoms away, and you won't have to have any issues anymore as you build up that new flora in your intestine. So that's really interesting. So that's another one I'm keeping an eye on as well. And one last one, CRMD, CorMedix, I believe is the company. And CorMedix has that medication that is Neutralin. And Neutralin is what they inject into catheters and dialysis catheters so that you can prevent infection. So it's not an antibiotic, but it does prevent infection. And one of the biggest things that we worry about with having something in your body is getting an infection there and then causing sepsis and death and a lot of mortality, a lot of hospitalizations. And so people that are on dialysis, they have these catheters in, and this can hopefully prevent people from getting infections and sepsis. It's already been used in Europe, and now it's close to launching here in the United States. I think that that's another one I'm keeping an eye on closely. I had already sold shares to make back my money, and so now I have a lot of shares in there sitting there, and it's all profit at this point. But look at those studies as well, and that's another company I'll probably talk about more before, and I've actually made some videos, I believe, in the past about it as well. And that's something that you might be interested in looking into. Of course, you know, at AlphaCape, we're not professionals at investing or anything like that. We just look at all these companies, we look at the things we like. I personally like to look at some of these biotech stocks. I want to start looking at some of the newer stocks that are out there that are coming out with phase 3 medications, and study their phase 1 and phase 2 studies and see if they're really something to look into. There's quite a few companies that are very, very interesting. Some of the medications that are coming out are very interesting, and I think that there's probably some gems in there, and there's probably some medicines that are going to come out and they're going to hit great. For instance, the medication that allows to increase the perfusion in the brain and help fight cancers better, hopefully help stroke patients better so that they get more oxygen to the brain and cause less damage. So there's a lot of medications out there that I like, that I think I'm going to start looking into more again, and start looking into it and see if it's something that I think is worth investing into in the future. Like I said, I'm going to hold to investing once they are coming out of the phase 3 studies instead of going too early. I prefer to invest a little bit later, make sure that they have the funding, make sure that they're not going to go through reverse stock splits, and make sure that they're coming out of that phase 3 study that may be the pivotal study that will then launch the medication. Because even after the phase 3 is done and they get good results and they submit to get that new drug, then you still have to wait about 9 months before they actually approve it. So it's kind of a waiting game at that point. But then at that point, you know that you can actually do well if it's approved, and you'll do actually pretty good. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to point out a few things. Thank you for you guys for commenting on the videos. Thank you for watching, and we will definitely keep on working on getting more videos out there, studying more stocks for you. I did a quick video on some dividend stocks, and I've been kind of looking a little bit further into those stocks and seeing what I like, what I don't like, and we'll talk about those later as well. Thanks for subscribing, liking, and we'll talk to you soon.